resistance, reactance, and impedance. In AC circuits, opposition to current is not just one thing. Sometimes energy is burned up as heat, and sometimes energy is stored and returned each cycle. We call the heat part resistance, and the storage part reactance. When you combine both, you get impedance, which is the total opposition AC current experiences. Two forms of opposition. Think of resistance like pushing a cart through thick mud. It always fights motion and turns your effort into heat. Reactance is different. It's like pushing a heavy cart on dry ground. It fights changes in motion, not motion itself. Reactance is the inertia of electricity. Resistance, the energy consumer. Resistance is the simplest case. Voltage and current rise and fall together at the same time. Nothing is stored. Energy is continuously dissipated as heat. That's why resistors and heaters feel so predictable in AC. No phase shift, just real power being consumed. Inductance, magnetic inertia. An inductor resists changes in current. It stores energy in a magnetic field, then releases it later. In an AC circuit, that creates a timing shift. Voltage leads current. The inductor is like a flywheel for current. It does not want current to change quickly. Capacitance, electric elasticity. A capacitor resists changes in voltage. It stores energy in an electric field. In AC, the timing shift goes the opposite way. Current leads voltage. A capacitor is like a spring or a diaphragm. Charge has to move first before the voltage pressure builds up. Reactance depends on frequency. This is the most important practical rule. Reactance changes with frequency. For inductors, reactance increases as frequency increases. Coils oppose high-frequency changes more strongly. For capacitors, reactance decreases as frequency increases. Capacitors pass high-frequency changes more easily. That's why inductors and capacitors are the foundation of filters. Impedance, the unified map. Impedance is the total opposition to AC current flow. The tricky part is that resistance and reactance do not simply add like normal numbers because they are out of phase. Instead, we combine them geometrically. Think of resistance as one direction and reactance as a perpendicular direction. The diagonal result is impedance. The tool, phasors AC waves are always moving, and that makes time domain analysis feel messy. Phasors simplify this by freezing the wave and representing it as an arrow. The arrow's length represents magnitude, and the angle represents phase. With phasors, we can solve many AC problems using geometry instead of chasing moving sine waves. The language, complex numbers. Complex numbers give us a clean way to separate the two behaviors. Resistance is on the real axis. That's energy dissipation. Reactance is on the imaginary axis. That's energy storage. Inductive reactance points in the positive imaginary direction, and capacitive reactance points in the negative imaginary direction. This is how math keeps friction and inertia from getting mixed up. Series circuits, vector addition. In a series AC circuit, the current is the same through each component, but the voltages can be out of phase. So the total supply voltage is the phasor sum of the resistor voltage, inductor voltage, and capacitor voltage. This explains a classic surprise. Individual voltage magnitudes can add up to more than the source voltage because they do not peak at the same time. Some of those voltages partially cancel in the phasor diagram. Parallel circuits, energy exchange. In a parallel AC circuit, the voltage is the same across each branch, but the branch currents can be out of phase. So the total current is the phasor sum of the branch currents. In circuits that include both an inductor and a capacitor, those two branches can exchange energy back and forth like a tank system. The source may only need to supply the difference between them, even though branch currents can be large. Complex frequency, beyond steady state. Most basic AC analysis assumes steady, unchanging sine waves. Real life includes startups and shutdowns where waves grow or decay. Complex frequency is a way engineers represent both the rotation rate of the waveform and whether its amplitude is growing or shrinking over time. You do not need this for everyday wiring, but it explains how engineers model transient behavior cleanly. Reality check, parasitics. Real components are not ideal. Real capacitors have small internal resistance and lead inductance. Real inductors have winding resistance and stray capacitance between turns. At high frequencies, these hidden elements change how the component behaves, sometimes causing self-resonance where a capacitor can start acting like an inductor, or an inductor can start acting like a capacitor. This is why high-frequency behavior can surprise people. Practical applications. Reactance shows up everywhere. Filtering uses inductors and capacitors to block some frequencies and pass others. Power factor correction uses capacitors to counter inductive loads and reduce reactive demand. Diagnostics often comes down to phase. Measuring phase shift can help identify whether something behaves more inductive, more capacitive, or mostly resistive. Summary: the AC opposition toolkit. Here's the big takeaway. Resistance is friction. It dissipates energy and stays in phase. Inductance is magnetic inertia. It stores energy and makes voltage lead current. Capacitance is electric elasticity. It stores energy and makes current lead voltage. Impedance is the combined map that lets us treat AC opposition as one unified idea. And before we wrap up, sincere thanks to Tony Coupalt and the open source community for making high-quality technical education freely available.